Hi there, StudyBuds! This is your StudyBud Yell, and today's another stop in our statistical journey. In this video, we will learn another significant topic in statistics, simple random sampling. But before we move on, let's have first our objectives. By the end of this video, the learner should be able to first understand why sampling is essential in doing statistics, and second, know how unrestricted random sampling works. Are you ready? In our last video, we discussed sampling tangentially. Now, we'll talk about it at length. Remember that a sample is a subset of a certain population, and often we get our data only from the sample and not from the population. Why? This is the ultimate question. If we want to be as accurate as much as possible, why resort to having data from the sample only? Why not use the entire population instead? The answer is this. Doing so is very expensive and often impossible. Let's say I want to find the average lifespan of a certain species of butterfly. Do I really need to check out all the butterflies in the population? That's impossible. But if I can collect a representative sample properly and do the analysis carefully, I can make a clear and close assessment of the entire population. That's why sampling is central to statistics. What is random sampling? Random sampling is a process of obtaining sample in which each element has equal probability of being chosen, or equiprobability, and that the chance of one member being drawn does not affect the chance of getting selected of another member, also known as independence. A sample chosen randomly is considered to be an unbiased representation of the population. There are two types of random sampling: unrestricted and restricted random sampling. But in this video, we'll only talk about unrestricted sampling. We'll have a separate video for the restricted ones. What? Another video? We decided to keep our vids short, so be sure to subscribe to Project UPTube and click the notification bell to be updated about the next upload. So back to our topic. Unrestricted random sampling is also called simple random sampling. It is a method of random sampling such that no restrictions on the sample are imposed, and every member of the population has an equal chance of being included in the sample. It is considered to be the best method since it amplifies the two properties of random sampling. There are two basic methods of unrestricted random sampling: fishbowl method and sampling using the table of random numbers. Basically, in the fishbowl method, also called the lottery method, all of the elements or members of the population are written individually in small rolled pieces of paper, which are then placed in a container. The container is shaken thoroughly, then a number of paper from the container are drawn as desired for a sample. And bingo, we now have the sample. And yes, bingo, because it works like bingo. Another method of simple random sampling is by using the table of random numbers. A table of random numbers are composed of digits from 0 to 9, with each having approximately equal probability of occurrence and are often grouped in 5 digits. This is an example of the table of random numbers from Rand's 1955, a million random digits with 100,000 normal deviates. But how are we going to use this? Let's have an example. Let's say that you are to choose 13 of the 20 students in your class to attend an activity. If you are going to use a table of random numbers, assign a number to each student like this. Now that they are numbered with your eyes closed, choose randomly a starting point from the table of random numbers. Let's say we have chosen the number 23851. Since we need two-digit numbers, take digits by 2 as well. The first number would be 23, but 23 is greater than 20, so we have to skip that and move rightwards. 85 is still greater than 20, so disregard that again. The next would be 12, and we can include that. That means student 12, which is Angel, is a member of the sample we need. Continue this process until you get the sample size you desire, which in our case is 13. And our sample will look like this. If you are to generate a large sample, use bigger table of random numbers. Just a side note, don't use calculators to generate random numbers. They have patterns. And we are done. We're done with simple random sampling. Yay! Just to recap, sampling is essential in statistics, and most of the time, you cannot proceed to study without your sample. Next, the most unbiased form of sampling is the unrestricted random sampling. And the two main methods are the fishbowl method and the use of a table of random numbers. That's it for today's StudyBuds, and I hope you learned something today. If you have questions or suggestions, just comment down below, or you can message our Facebook page, Project UPTube. This has been your StudyBud Yell, reminding you that you are significant. Till our next trip to the study world, toodaloo!